Today's daily recap for BTG Beyond the Gates is for Wednesday, June the 11th, 2025. Well, poor Bill. And the reason why I'm saying poor Bill is he doesn't want to admit the fact that that stroke actually did some damage to him. This is probably Bill's first major illness. Okay. And since he hates the hospital so much, he doesn't seem like the kind of man that's having regular checkups, regular physicals, regular anything, right? Because he's big, bad Bill Hamilton. Okay. So Shanice comes in and she says, okay, we can ready to start the physical therapy. And he's like, gruff this, gruff that. And she says, okay, crumble up this paper with your one hand, your left hand. So she puts the paper down. He picks it up and crumbles it up, throws it on his lap. She says, good, good. All right. So she takes another one out. She puts it down. She goes, now crumble up this paper with your right hand. So he was even having a time lifting that right hand from down by his side onto the paper. So he gets it onto the paper the way you see it in the picture. And he didn't have the strength to crumble it up. What he did was he moved it across closer to the left hand, and then he took it with his left hand and crumbled it up. She says, oh no, nope, that's cheating. You didn't do that with your right hand. And now he's really complaining, and he takes the piece of paper with his left hand and throws it at the door. And Dr. Montgomery Madison was coming in. And she looks down. She goes, I'm here to check on the patient. Oh, good throw. Good throw. You're making progress. So, he's complaining, and she goes, how's physical therapy going? Shani says, he's protesting, but nothing I can't handle. So as Madison is talking to him, Shanice is saying, okay, I want you to do shoulder rolls, 10 backward shoulder rolls. So he's starting to do his shoulder rolls on the right side. And Madison's talking, and she goes, okay, so Mr. Hamilton, you're feeling a little better, right? And yes, I said I'm feeling better, you know. And so she says, okay, okay. Um, Tell me a little bit. She goes, wait, where are your daughters? I don't see your daughters. She says, can you tell me a little bit about, your daughter Naomi? He's doing shoulder rolls. And Shani says, okay, now let's do those same shoulder rolls, but backwards, right? First it was forward and backwards. So he's doing it the opposite way. And he goes, no, they're not here. He goes, Naomi is, I'm sure I'll get another one to her 100 text in a minute. So she goes, you must be proud of your daughters, especially Naomi being an attorney like you're an attorney. And he says, yep, I'm proud of both my girls. And he says, don't think I don't know what you're doing. And she says, what? You're trying to test to see how much I can remember. Right? And she says, yes, I'm, testing your cognitive responses. And she says, I find the best way to do that is to talk with patients about their family. So I thought, okay, that was pretty cool. Right. But then we have Anita and Vernon at the beginning of the show. They're talking. She's out in Chicago, and getting ready to go rehearse with the girls. And she goes, but I haven't been able to reach Danny or Nicole. He says, I've got them coming over. I'm gonna take care of it. I'm gonna let them know what you're doing. Don't worry about it. I'm holding down the fort here. So she goes, okay. Now at Nicole's house, Laura is, working, and she's working across from Nicole, and you know, Laura's skirt is short too. It's funny. at the beginning of the show before the accident, Laura wore really kind of nice pantsuits, not with a blazer, but dressy outfits with pants. Because I remember thinking, oh, look at her, she dresses really nice. So, and I'm so happy they lost those stupid hats on Cat's head. Oh my God, they're good. Thank God. So anyway, um, Laura's saying, Nicole, I I'm really trying to keep up here. And Nicole says, you're gonna get it. You were gone for more than a minute, so it's gonna take you more than a minute to get back, in the swing of things. So she walks over to Nicole's desk and she goes, I wanted to ask, but maybe I shouldn't. She goes, ask me what, Laura? You can talk to me and ask me anything. So Laura says, I wanted to know, can Eva help me some more with the changes she made? She says, I'm still learning the software. She says, and the only reason I'm asking is the new systems that she did implement, they were better than what I was doing. So I just want to learn them, but I need some tips. And so she goes, I would make sure she would be here when you were gone so you wouldn't have to see her. And Nicole says, Laura, I've already talked to Eva. And if Eva is willing to help, I don't mind Eva helping you. She says, now, as an assistant, Eva caught on and did a very good job. She said, she doesn't replace you. She said, but she did do a very good job. She could anticipate my needs in advance. And that's not easy to do. She said, but what Eva did, I just didn't see it coming. You know, the trust that I had in her was just shattered. And Laura says, oh, you know, I'm so sorry that that happened to you. And so she says, um, but I've spent some time, talking to Eva. Do you think she's sorry? And Nicole says, yes. She said, because I really questioned her yesterday. And as a therapist, I was analyzing every answer she gave me. I was looking at her eyes movements. I was looking at her body language, trying to see if I could detect her lying again. And she says, and I couldn't. So Laura says, oh, good, because hopefully there were none to detect, right? So Nicole says, I do not have a problem with you getting whatever you assistance you need from Eva. Now I have to go see my father. So she goes over and she says, Laura, it's not just Eva that I just didn't see coming. She said, it was what my own husband did. I just walked around here like my marriage was picture perfect. I didn't see any warnings, any red flags. She says, and it just has me questioning my judgment. She says, but that's something I have to work through. And that's when she says she's got to go see her dad. Vernon had called. So anyway, they flip over to the house. Daddy's there first. And she goes, what's this about, Daddy? And so he goes, oh, I want to wait for your sister to get here. She's on her way. She goes, uh-oh, look, if you all think I need another family intervention, I don't. I'm doing good right now. And so he goes, no, it's not a family intervention. It's, has something to do with your mother. What? He goes, Danny, everything's okay. And so at this time, Nicole's walking through the front door. Mother, mother, where are you, mother? And so she walks in to where Danny and Vernon are. Oh, by the way, I really liked Nicole's pantsuit today. I liked it a lot, right? Who else liked it? If you liked it, put it in comment corner. So she goes, "Where's mother?" And Vernon says, "That's what I called you two here for. Your mother is okay, but the articulate reunion is going to happen." And oh, Danny was so, she goes, "Oh my goodness, who would think one night at karaoke started all of this? I'm so happy for mother. She deserves this," right? Danny may have even said mom. I know Nicole calls her mother. Danny may say mom. Um, and so Nicole says, "Okay, so what, she's rehearsing?" And he goes, "Yeah." She goes, "Well, when will she be back? What time will she be back home?" And he says, "Couple of weeks." She said, "What?" Daddy's like, "Wait a minute. She's gone for a couple of weeks." He goes, "Yes, they are rehearsing in Chicago, where it all began. Now, she will come home on the weekend, but they needed to get back there where their roots were to do the choreography and blah, blah, blah. And the promoter that's promoting it, he agreed." So Nicole said, "But not now. I need her now." And he looked at her. He says, "Oh, that's why you walked in the door calling for your mother." He says, "And you got me instead." Right? And she says, "Today's just one of those days." He goes, "Oh, and you wanted some advice from your mother." He says, "Listen, and this is for both of you. Anita's only a phone call away. If you need to talk to your mother about anything, she will be able to talk to you, right?" So Danny walks around to Nicole. She says, "Look, I know it's rough being in the, husband cheated on you club." She said, "I know, I've been there." And she goes, "Yeah, and I didn't want to be there with you." Right? Or I don't want to be here with you. She goes, "But you know what? I have a remedy for you today. I'm not mom, but I'm the next best thing. Come on." So Nicole says, "Where are we going?" She goes, "Don't worry about it." So Danny takes Nicole to her place. Remember the first scene of the first episode where Danny threw the mug across the room, and it hit the floor and shattered? And Vanessa walked in and said, "Don't shoot the messenger," or something like that, right? Well, she goes, "Okay, this is therapeutic." She says, "I want you to take this teacup and I want you to throw it across the room." And Danny said, "Let me show you." She took it to you, and it shattered. And Nicole says, "Look, why would I want to do that? I don't know that I want to." She goes, "Because it's going to help you release some pent up frustration. Trust me. Now it's your turn." And Nicole took it and she goes, "Oh," she threw it and it shattered. And Danny's like, "Hey, see, don't you feel better?" She goes, "That did feel a little exhilarating." Right? So Danny says, "Okay, here we got." She had some more. "Here we go. Now, to cheating husbands." Hey! Danny throws hers. And then Nicole takes hers, like to lying husband. She throws hers and they both are clapping and starting to have fun. So they end up, I think, shattering about 4 glasses each, 4 mugs each. And Nicole said, "Danny, I do feel better. I do." She goes, Danny says, "Sometimes you got to just let it out. Just yell and let that out and just put it in there." So that was a really cute sister moment. Okay. So now we have Jacob serving um, Leslie the subpoena to search the apartment again, right? And she was like, "Shh, what kind of harassment is this?" what kind of animal should I say is behind this, meaning cat, right? And so he goes, here's the here's the subpoena and or warrant to search the warrant to search her apartment. And so she's talking to him and she ends up talking to him about, there's this show. Have you ever seen it? And I thought, why is he even letting her talk like that? And so finally he looked at her, he goes, you know what? You are doing too much. You need to go over there and sit down and be quiet, or I'm going to have the officer remove you from the apartment while we search it. Choice is yours. So she goes, woof, woof. And she goes and she sits down and he goes to the ottoman, of course, after he's looking other places. But he goes to the ottoman, he looks through it again, and lo and behold, what does he see? The helmet and the gloves. And he takes it out and she says, and what is that supposed to be? And he puts it on the table. He goes, like riding motorcycles much? And she stands up and she walks over to it. She's on the other side of the table and she's reaching for it. She goes, and he's lifting it up, telling the officer, Officer so and so, come here. He's lifting it up. She goes, let me see. And she's reaching for it. And I had rewound it a couple times. To me, I kind of think her index finger may have touched it, but he was moving it. He goes, no, you can't touch this. This is evidence, right? And I thought, look at her. She's trying. And she had all her four fingers like, oh, let me feel it. Let me see. I said, she's trying to get her fingerprints on there in front of them so she could say, of course, my fingerprints are on that helmet. Officer, whatever his last name is, he let me touch it. Which, of course, we know he never would let her touch, but she sure did. And I thought, yikes, when I rewound it again, like the third time, I do kind of believe part of it did touch it, but not enough for all the fingerprints because Leslie was holding that thing. I mean, she should have full sets of fingerprints on there, which is why she was trying to touch it with both hands, right? So the officer bags it, Jacob bags the gloves, and they leave. She goes, y'all come back now, you hear? And she's like, ooh, you tall, you know, drinker. And I mean, it's like, shut up. Every time you in the presence of a man, you flirting like that, you don't do it all the time, or you'd have all kind of deranged lunatic men knocking on your door the way you talk, right? So as they leave, she closes the door. She says, Leslie is here to Leslie's like chalk one up for me. And I thought, she's too cocky about this. Did she have either a ring camera system, blink camera system, some kind of one or two camera system you could buy online anywhere, right? Because if she did, she's caught Cat on camera coming through that window and putting that evidence there. And you know what, everybody? I'm not a Leslie fan. She does make the show interesting, but I don't want Leslie to get away with everything in the kitchen sink, right? Kind of remind you of Drew Kane on General Hospital. But anyway, Cat needs to get burned. Not Eva kidnapping Cat, trying to kill Cat, but Cat needs to get caught in her own little web because she thought she was so sneaky. It was so smooth that Jacob goes to Orphe Jean's. Cat was having a meeting with Chelsea. And he says, Chelsea, can I talk to Cat? She goes, oh, that's okay. I need to go to the hospital anyway to check on my dad. She really meant check on the doctor. And Chelsea made a little joke about, you mean Dr. Steamy? And she goes, well, for that remark, you buying lunch. But anyway, Jacob sits down and he says, she goes, okay, so what happened? He goes, I got another search warrant for Leslie's apartment. You did? And did you find anything? He goes, of course I found something. I found the helmet and the glove conveniently in an ottoman. And she goes, okay, so why don't you sound happier? When are you going to be able to arrest her? He says, well, for one thing, I searched that ottoman thoroughly the first time. She goes, but we already talked about. She probably removed evidence knowing you were coming, and now she's confident she put it back. He goes, that or somebody put it there. And he's looking at Kat. She goes, what do you mean? You thinking me? She goes, how could I do that? And he just looked at her. He said, yeah, how could you do that? And she's like, so he gets a text because he says now they petitioned the judge to sign out for a warrant for Leslie's arrest. So he goes, oh, this is the information I'm waiting for from the judge's office, you know. And he goes, he answers the phone and he goes, uh-huh, okay. Mm. So Kat's like, he hangs up. She goes, or he puts the phone down, he hangs up. She goes, what happened? The judge denied the request to arrest, to issue a warrant for Leslie's arrest. She goes, why? She said, because he said that that evidence was not there when I searched the apartment the first time. So it could be um almost like suspect. He didn't say this word, but it could be suspect how it miraculously appeared again there after I requested a second search warrant. So she goes, he says, unless we can get Leslie's DNA connecting her to the crimes. And I'm thinking, how would you be able to do that? Right? Unless you what got the syringe she used or what? And you searched the apartment, the syringes weren't there. So Kat was like, mm. And I thought, oh, poor Kat. Now, Leslie would not know a judge was going to rule that way. Leslie was blowing up Eva's phone because Laura called Eva to come over. And she goes, I just need a little bit more help. And so she goes, well, okay, I said I'm willing to help you. She said, but I'm sure Nicole's not going to be happy that I'm here when she finds out that I was here. And she goes, oh, I've already cleared. No, I got permission from Nicole. I already cleared it. She says she's fine with you helping me. And so Eva says, oh, well, okay. What seems to be the problem, right? And so Laura's asking her some superficial questions, and then she was asking her about the color coding system that she's done. And so she's saying, I'm still having a problem finding whatever files. So Eva says, you know what? Let's go over to the file cabinet. I may have misfiled it. So she goes, you see this color here that's on the spreadsheet here? It matches the color that's on the file. And so she goes, and then they're alphabetically. She goes, oh, are they alphabetically in alphabetical order? So Eva looks up at her and she said, okay, I'm sure you haven't forgotten the alphabet. Tell me what's really going on. Right? And so Laura says, well, I I know Nicole misses you. And Eva says, no, she don't miss me, you know. She accepted my apology, but what I did, she goes, no, what you did is messed up. But Nicole got attached, and I could tell, you know, to you. And she really liked you. Yes, she's hurt, but she said, I feel in time, you know, she will be able to get past that. And she said, so I just felt that this would just be some soft introductions. And I wanted to let you know next time you see Nicole, if she chooses to be cordial and interact with you, she goes, I'll interact back. She says, or if she chooses that she's not ready, just let it be and don't take it personal. So she goes, okay, thank you. And I thought, you know what? I like that Laura girl. She's not a cat. Well, for one thing, she's not wealthy. She's an employee, but she knows. Cat makes it very clear how she feels about Eva. And Laura has her own mind. And Laura is like, no, I know Nicole misses her. And, I'm not going to try to divide no further wedge, just because I want my job back. I got my job, right? Laura got her job back. So, anyway, I just like the fact that she's not threatened by Eva, especially since now Eva is part of Ted's family. So, Eva's family, right? So, let me see. Anything else happen? I did the Shawnee's physical therapy. Oh, Leslie, while Eva was there, was ringing, blowing up Eva's phone. And she would look at it and she would push decline and put and keep talking to Laura. And then she looked, so she goes, I'm sorry, I gotta take this. She walks into the other room. She's like, Mama, why do you keep calling me? And so she goes, because the end of the world as we know it is I come get over here. So she goes to Leslie's place. Leslie is just in shambles and I'm thinking she's acting. 100% she's acting. They came back and they found the helmet. Do you hate me that much that you want me in jail? She goes, what are you talking about? The helmet magically appeared over there in that ottoman. And Eva says, I don't know how that got there. That wasn't me. She says, I hid it to protect you. And I just noticed it was missing from under my bed at the hotel. I don't know who took it. And so Leslie's like, haven't I taught you anything? Right? So anyway, she's like, but oh, I'm so worried and all this, that. She goes, but Mama, you have to understand you're in this predicament because of your actions. What are you talking about? You're supposed to be on my. She goes, no. You ran Laura off the road. Something you didn't have to do. So look, just calm down. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna try to figure out, how can I find out any information, and I'll get back to you. Oh, baby, do you love me at all? Well, of course I love you, Mom. She was just emotionally manipulating the young lady, and I just was shaking my head, shake completely. So as Eva was leaving, Leslie's walking her to the door with her Kleenex. And so she goes, can I get a hug? Hug. And so Eva's like, well, okay, okay. And she hugs her mother. And I thought, see, that's your telltale sign, Eva. Leslie's not the hugging type, hugging kind. Leslie can't even spell hug. What are you talking about? You fell for that? They should have showed Eva walking away saying, okay, now I know something up with her. She don't hug me. Right? Showing she didn't fall for it. Soon as Leslie shut the door, she starts dancing. So yeah, Leslie Thomas is here to stay. And I thought, what is that? Like, how did that visit from Eva, how did that fit so perfectly with whatever Leslie has planned? Hmm, I don't know. But she's up to something. And Leslie is not above throwing Eva under the bus because she feels Ted will try to make everything go away if it's pinned on Eva. So I don't know. That's crazy. That was a little bit weird to me, everybody. So that's it. Let's go to comment corner. I remembered it today, y'all. Comment corner, comment corner. Let's see what we got here. Oh, look, we only got two. What's going on with comment corner for BTG, y'all? Only got two comments here. Okay, we've got Cleo and we've got Black Purple Turquoise. Cleo says, I called it. Chelsea's at the hospital bright and early while her mama and sister didn't want to go. Well, Naomi didn't want to go, but she did go. I bet she didn't even go tell her dad good morning, but was uh, dogging Dr. Madison steps and videotaping her. She is so thirsty and pathetic. Haley continues to feel insecure and inferior around Danny. I freaking love it. It seems the thing she can do is kiss Bill. She can't even talk to him to calm him down. I know. I say, since we're in the hospital, let's get an ultrasound done so we can hear the maybe baby heartbeat. Give Bill something to look forward to. That's a good thought, right? And then Black Purple Turquoise says Haley needs to take some notes from Danny, the empress of dismissing people. The child bride is so jealous of her, it's for real. Obviously, deep down, she knows she'll never measure up to Danny Dupree or be a respected symbol of status and wealth and power like her and the Duprees, and it bugs the heck out of her. So I love it. The main reason I don't believe she's actually pregnant is because of how she keeps bringing up the newest little Hamilton on the way. She's so insecure and needy, it's ridiculous. But she and Bill obviously deserve each other. And watch, as soon as the baby is born, if she's really with child, the affairs and his wandering eye will start. And Haley will be in the exact same position with him that Danny was in. But of course, she didn't mind or care when the shoe was on the other foot. But eventually, what she and Bill threw around will shamelessly and remorselessly will come back around to them and knock them down and the many pegs they deserve to be. Uh, it's called the big kahuna herself. Wait, it's called the big kahuna herself, Karma. Oh, keep telling everyone. She does not come to play with everyone. And Bill and Haley will certainly be no exception to whatever is doled out for them, and rightfully so. When their sham of a marriage and relationship starts going to pieces around them, going to pieces around them. Yep, that is so true. It's coming. You could tell that's not no marriage or relationship that's gonna last. It's basically based of Bill constantly reassuring Haley, constantly. Well, that's it, everyone. I will be back tomorrow with another daily recap for Beyond the Gates.